Hey y'all, the point of this video is to kind of give a little more explanation of what's going on with these artifacts that ask you to prompt an AI. I can see the title could be a little misleading because I say AI prompt generation. Does that mean am I asking you to use AI to generate a prompt, or what is it actually that I'm asking you to do? So I'm going to go through the instructions here. I'll show you an example, and hopefully that'll kind of make sense for what I want you to be doing when you see these artifacts. We'll do a bunch of them next week, just as we get away from the previous unit and we dig further into this unit. Okay, so the first idea here, I'll just kind of summarize the whole point of this. It's that when we are looking at AI for certain tasks, it's usually better for us to have an output in mind, like what I want the AI to give me. And then the question is, what can I input into the text box in an AI generator in order for it to give me the output that I want? Now, this is under the assumption that AI is useful for menial tasks that take time. Sometimes it's just the time of formatting something that you could do yourself but would take 30 minutes. Most of the prompt generations you'll see me asking for are these types of low-level tasks that aren't necessarily demanding your critical thought or critical attention, but just would take you longer than it needs to in order to get something. And so, in a way, I am asking you to consider how writing a short sentence or two could save you time in the long run, again, when it comes to really simplified tasks that just are time consuming. So the first thing you'll see is an output in all of these artifacts. This is what I want you to get the AI to mimic. So whatever prompt you will draft yourself, I want you to put it into ChatGPT or whatever you choose and ask it to mimic that the output. So how will you describe this output so ChatGPT or whatever can make it? Okay, so for example, I want you to, in this one, I want you to figure out what can you tell the AI, what can you input into the AI so that the output will be this series of dates with these date ranges in this format. And you might have to do a little bit of research, like what is 8/18? Is that a Monday? Is 8/24 a Sunday? Is there some kind of language that you can use in order to get it right the first time? You might need to look at a calendar to see when are these dates occurring. Are there any dates that are skipped? Just sort of do a little bit of investigation because that could help you with your prompt. You'll notice too that like the output here is in a very particular format. There are a number of ways that we can write date, but this output is specifically a date range that uses like a slash format. And so how can you work in directions for the AI to get it in this format that you want it? So the final output is what you want the AI to give you once you've put the prompt in. And what you are doing, what your task is to write a prompt that you could put into ChatGPT that would get it to deliver this list of dates in this format. So how can you write those instructions for it? What I'll want you to do is imagine you want the output right here, write a prompt, and then go into ChatGPT or whatever platform you're comfortable working with and test the prompt itself, the one that you have authentically drafted up. Test it and see what it gives you. Is it giving you exactly the same content Is it good enough? How can you edit it so that it could be a little bit closer if it's not quite right? And then I just want you to reflect on this process. What prompt did you write? I want to see it. What output did it provide? I want to see that. It might be identical, it might be a little bit off. And then I want you to make that comparison. Is it the same or is it different? What parts may not have matched, if any? And then, you don't have to continuously revise your prompt, but you could think about this. If you didn't get an identical match, how would you change your prompt to get a better result next time? Or if they did match, then I want you to tell me, what do you think was like pivotal in including in your prompt so that it did get that specific identical match to the output that I'm requesting. Okay, so let's take a look at an example of this that's not this same thing, just so you can apply it to practicing with Artifact 15. All right, so let's imagine this is what you want. You want a list of items with what appear to be these little check boxes right here. So your question is, what can you put into ChatGPT or whatever that's going to give you this list? Now, you might be thinking it'd be easier for me to just replicate this list on my own. And you're absolutely right. There are going to be some things that are not time consuming at all. But for example purposes, let's just pretend. So let's grab this. Okay, so let's imagine that we're trying to work with these things. What prompt could we put into ChatGPT to get this? We might say something like, create a list of 5 items that include laundry, email, groceries, notes, and workout. Make it a checklist. All right, let's try that. We'll see if that prompt works. It does. Okay, so basically we have something here. Is it identical? All right, so let's imagine you're working through this assignment. You've examined, in our example, you've examined the output that's required. You've written a prompt. Here, create a list of 5 items that include laundry, email, groceries, notes, and workout. Make it a checklist. We've got that. So you would share your prompt with me. We've tested the prompt. Here's the output that AI has given us. And now we just want to submit the following. What prompt did you write and test? You'll just copy and paste what you sent into the AI. What output did the AI provide? Just give me a little label. Here's the output. Copy and paste what it gave you. And then here's where you'll check it out. Is the output identical to the output shared above, or are there some variations? Okay, so we can take a look. On the left-hand side of your screen is the exact output that you're looking for. On the right-hand side of your screen is what it gave you. So it's not identical, right? In each of the checklists that our prompt generated, we've got 2 words. We've got a verb, and then we've got a noun. Do laundry, check email, buy groceries, write notes, complete workout. So we can note down, if when we're answering part 4, we can note down that variation that it probably would work just fine for our purposes, but it isn't identical. What parts didn't match? We can comment on the fact that we've got 2 words instead of just a short 1-word content. And then we can absolutely answer this final bullet for number 4. How would you change your prompt to get a better result next time? Now, you're welcome to test this out, but I think authentically just leaving the very first prompt that you worked on is kind of what I would be curious to see. But how could we change this? Clearly the big issue here, if in terms of identical, is that I have 2 words. I could say something like, don't include verbs in the list. And then we can see if that would probably get us closer to what we're looking for. And yeah, it can. So what we could then do when we're answering this 4th bullet is say, I could directly prompt the AI next time not to include verbs and just include nouns in the checklist or something like that. Or you could say I could ask it for a 1-word checklist, something along those lines. Perhaps even you could say, I could just tell it to format this exact list into a checklist style or something. So that's all I'm looking for. What this is going to do for us is it's going to give us some practice with using AI. If you aren't familiar with that yet, this is something that is coming up in education. It's something that everyone is talking about. It's going to give us some ability to kind of think about how we can write directions. It's going to give us the opportunity to write really specific language when we are writing directions. So as you're working on this, as you can see down here, of course AI is permitted, but only with the testing aspect. The prompt that you write yourself for part 2, that should be authentically written by you. That is sort of a goal here, is that you guys become capable of writing prompts so that you can quickly use AI when perhaps on a job in your future, someone asks you to do something really quickly. It's coming naturally for you already. So that's what I want to see. I hope that this helps make sense of things. I know some people have already emailed me. If you have questions beyond what I've covered here, absolutely please email me. But otherwise, I hope that this is helpful. And I know there's so much going on this week, but y'all are killing it. So I'm here if you need anything.